How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Senseonics. They do have earnings that's coming out in the after hours tomorrow. So you guys knew I wasn't going to leave you in the dark. I'm going to give you the update, give you guys my thoughts. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Senseonics. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $1.80, being down 2.70%. On the low, it tested $1.77, and then on the high, testing $1.88. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 9.35 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 20.957 million shares. So what we noticed right away, we had well below the average in regards to volume, and it's part of the reasons why we didn't see a lot of movement in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 36.15. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And we know it is in a bear market currently. It's trading below all of our major moving averages. They do have earnings that's supposed to be coming out tomorrow on March the 1st in the after hours. So as far as if we end up having a pullback, I'd want to see if we could actually hold up $1.71. The low of the day was at $1.77. If the earnings turn out being good, then I want to see us make a move going back to at least $2. We know this will be a psychological area and there will be many people that will be looking to sell, but if we have that buying volume, we should be able to see some more upside there. But for the most part, I'm not really expecting too much of a massive move, and if we have a sharp enough pullback, I'll be willing to add to a position, especially if it got down here to this low where it's at $1.41 or $1.40 to be exact. So let's see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. Let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Senseonics. So scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 28th, we have a short position from Blackstone Alternative Investment Funds of 29,000. And let's look for the next big one because we have the Russell 2000 here, but they went in with just 431 shares. We also have the Russell 2000 Fund Class A that purchased 2,432 shares. We also have Ridex Variable Trust with two positions of 295 shares and as well as 158 shares. We also see again Russell 2000 2X Strategy Fund A Class shares that purchased 2,797 shares. And as we scroll up, I want to show you guys the graph in regards to seeing institutions and what they are doing. And we can see as of late, they have loaded up on SENS as the stock has pulled back. So good thing to be aware of for my long-term investors. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 36.78%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 1.97 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 300,000, updated 8 minutes ago, and then for the short ball-free rate, it is at 23.60%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 24th, it was at 33.83, and then for the close of the 25th, it's at 36.78. So what this shows us right away, Senseonics does have short squeeze potential. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Senseonics. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 2.65, and then on the outflow, it's at 3.55. Keep in mind these numbers in the millions. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 1.57. On the small, it was 1.08. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 2.30, and then on the small, it was 1.25. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we got zeros down the board. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we already confirmed no data on buying or selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.10%. So this is not too bad for Senseonics whatsoever, and this shows us there's still many who are holding on to their positions. And one thing that was very clear, we did not see any whales coming into this play coming from the Webull data. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Senseonics, with earnings coming out tomorrow, I'm not seeing a lot of volatility whatsoever. They already came out on the day of the FDA approval for the 180-day device. Here's what our revenues are going to be looking like for 2022. And of course, it was underwhelming. So as far as for this earnings report, I guess we're just going to have to be keeping an eye on what the cash burn is really looking like. Because what this will show us is that are they going to be able to be efficient while continuing to grow the business? We already know we're looking out for that 365-day device, which should get an FDA approval by 2024 or before that. Again, I can't predict these things, but that's what I'm actually looking for. So if we do end up having a pullback inside of the stock, do know we ended up getting to a low of around $1.40 when that news first came out. And the reason why we had a low at $1.77, I think some people have been buying into earnings. Even though we're not seeing any big time whales coming in and so forth, I feel there's still a lot of interest there. And if we do end up getting a pop, we could potentially go to $2. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen. I just want to make sure I'm very clear about that. But there is a good chance, especially if we get maybe an improved guidance for 2022 on that earnings call. Again, I'm just trying to be positive here. I'm looking for the best case scenario. But if it does pull back, I will be loading up on some shares because I feel like they can get this job done. And who knows, they might potentially become an acquisition target. I know that's been going around a lot as well. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we see institutions are continuing to load up on shares. Plus, on top of that, it does have short squeeze potential. So knowing that, that's why you want to keep this play on your radar. You never know when we might get some news, might get a catalyst. Again, maybe some news in regards to an acquisition. There's a lot of things that could possibly happen with this play. So it's either A, you go in, buy some shares, you sit down and hold, and I'll be looking at those levels around $1.50 or even at $1.60. Or B, you can wait and see, well, you know what, will they become an acquisition target? It's a company that has great technology, and there's another big pharma company out there that might be able to say, you know what, we'll take you on Senseonics and we'll give you $6 a share for your enterprise value. Again, that's just me just hoping for the best for this play. But anyways, that'll be a good look. But I just want you guys to know I will give you an update after they release their earnings because I feel like I owe it to you guys, especially since we've been talking about SENS for quite some time on this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.